Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Acceptable Losses podcast. I'm DK Diamantes, and Kirioth is about to wade us through all the grim, dark dirt and filth of some of these crazy fictional worlds. And oh, look, hey, there, it's Kirioth about to tell you about the Patreon and our really cool merch founders packs that are going on for the rest of the year. Kirioth.
We do have both an excellent Patreon where you get episodes early and some shorter exclusive stuff as well. And yeah, we've got amazing merch. It is amazing. It's quality. So the Founders merch pack where you get a t-shirt, you get a sweatshirt, there's a pin, there's a coin, there's a wall scroll as well, and it's personalized. So if you're like the 10th person to buy one of these, then your clothes will have your number on it. No one else will have it. It will never show up ever again. It's great. The designs are fantastic. It's beautiful. You should check it out. There'll be a link in the description for both the Patreon and for the merch itself. It's just great. I'm so happy with it. I love it.
It's phenomenal. What Roman numeral is XXX? Because whoever gets that one is just going to be a rock star.
Oh no, would that be 300? 330? Oh no, we should know this, shouldn't we, going into this? We should be aware.
Because X is 10, so it'd be 10, 300? I don't know. The chat is going wild right now. Whoever's in that, let's, hey, Google.
30, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Yeah, that makes more sense. For some reason, I thought there was more of a multiplication thing going on there than there actually was, but I don't know why.
When you said 300, my brain just went a little wild, and I was like, wait a minute. Really?
I'm notoriously terrible at maths, so I really don't know why I offered a guess straight up.
Same. Yeah, it's 30. It's 30. That's all right. Boy, I'm dumb. All right, so Shy has a working brain. Kirioth and I are just kind of, licking our eyeballs with our tongue, and, it is what it is.
We've said before that Shy is the glue holding this all together, or, perhaps the person with holding us at gunpoint, keeping it all together. Either way works.
She's the one holding the chain, right?
That's straight away.
Yeah. So, Kirioth, what sort of grim, dark gunk are we wading our way through today? What are we doing?
Well, today we are going back to Trench Crusade because we're going to talk about myth and folklore in Trench Crusade. Now, just to preface this, we're talking about some of the myth and folklore in Trench Crusade because
not all.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot. Like I started writing this script and I got about 7 pages in and I was like, I've covered one thing out of potentially tens. So this could become just an ongoing thing where as we go through Trench Crusade more and as we look at it more, there's more stuff to keep adding to the pile of, well, this is clearly inspired by, there's a lot of like Slavic folklore going on in this one. But like
sure.
you could probably apply that to a lot of the stuff that's in there. But this is 3 things that we're going to talk about. We're going to have a little discussion about vampires, about a hut with legs, and werewolves. Because everyone loves vampires and werewolves, let's face it.
Did you say a hut with legs like Jabba the Hutt? Like that kind of hut?
A home, a house.
Oh, right.
Not a slug alien.
Gotcha. Because I was like, Jabba the Hutt with like proper legs would be fucked. That'd be so scary.
Really weird.
And like, how would that even? Would it be his slug body, but with like little feetsies underneath, or would it be like? Would you just turn him completely like vertical and give him legs? That's creepy too. That'd be so freaky. Anyway,
him just standing
legs,
tall
fine.
With a little pair of legs right at the end of the slug tail.
Oh, that's awful. I hate that. I was giving him proper
Gross.
legs, and then like the tail part would just be the tail part. You've made it so much. Oh,
It'd be so tall. It'd be so tall.
With his just tiny little feetsies on the end of his tail, that's terrible. I hate it. All right, but we've got a house with legs, vampires, and werewolves.
Yeah, the big 3. apparently. Sort of not really. So yeah, we're going to be talking about especially folklore in the universe of Trench Crusade. I suspect a good number of people, just upon seeing the title of the episode, will have thought, well, like, that surely covers most of it. Like, it's quite an expansive topic, even if you don't do a deep dive. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's probably enough scattered around the existing lore to do follow-ups. But for now, we're just going to focus on a few of the more notable references, whether they are single lines from the brief and incomplete timeline, pictures on the official map, or the catalyst for the invasion of Eire. I'm trying to get that right. Essentially Ireland, but it's not Ireland on the map, and I've been looking up how you pronounce it, and I found 3 different pronunciations, and none of them are easy. So we're going to do our best. This is the thing. E-I-R-E.
Oh, is that kind of like Lake, I don't want to say Lake Erie, but kind of that kind of deal where it's like Lake Erie.
Yeah,
whatever.
There are some interesting pronunciations when it comes to like Celtic languages and the like that, frankly, I struggle with. But that's only because they don't they don't correspond to what the sounds are in English for a lot of them. So there's a bit of that, but we're going to be doing our best. So we're going to start off with like one of the first big bits of information that we get from the incomplete timeline when it comes to world building for Trench Crusade. We're going to start with a single line in that big long list of horrible events that have taken place. So if you would do the honors, DK, I have put a pronunciation guide at the end there.
All right, 1573, Sacred Order of the Dragon halts the heretic advance after the destruction of Byzantium. 1 million heretics impaled in the hills of Valahia. Wow, I would not have gone for that pronunciation. That is Wallachia. I would have said Wallachia.
Yeah, I've been told that Valahia is the Romanian way of pronouncing that, and so
that's fair, actually. Yeah,
that's what I went for. There was also about 8 other suggestions, so really, I mean, it's up to you, kind of. But you got to try to get the right stuff in. You got to give your best
bet to get the culture right and say it the way it's supposed to be said, instead of just being dumb American DK and being like Wallachia. That
just sounds like it's somewhere in Texas. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like a fast food joint in Texas. Yeah.
Now, there's been plenty of people over the years who have been fond of making an example of their enemies in one form or another, but there's only really been one guy who was so fond of shoving sticks through people that the activity became part of his name. And in turn,
good old Vlad, huh?
Yeah. That has in turn spawned a small mythology. And that is, of course, Vlad the Impaler, aka Vlad Dracula, or Vlad Tepes. So, the man of many names. He's also known as Vlad III, and he reigned over Valahia on 3 occasions in the real world, with his first reign beginning in 1448, and his third reign ending in December 1476 or January 1477. That third reign ended in his death in a battle near Snagov, rendering a significant number of people more safe from being impaled than ever before. So, there are upsides.
Yep.
We need to mention the Sacred Order of the Dragon as well, since in real life, from what I could find out, it was simply the Order of the Dragon. It was founded by Sigismund of Luxembourg, and it was based on the military orders of the Crusades. Not necessarily a positive in the Trench Crusade universe, given the whole, Templars committed the act of ultimate heresy thing.
That's not great.
It still had a Christian slant in the real world, as its initiates had to protect the cross, fight enemies of the faith, although by enemies of the faith, they mostly meant the Ottomans, and there was a lot of war going on around that time, funnily enough. And Postmus pointed out that the changing of the Order's name in this universe could be a reference to how the Order's intent is to be like the Crusaders, as a sort of reinvigoration. Like, the idea of the Crusaders is likely still appealing as a concept, regardless of the heresy. So it could easily be we are like the Crusaders, but we're actually going to be good this time. Hence the sacred addition to the name.
But we're actually going to be good this time is, yeah.
I mean,
also,
it's a low bar to clear.
Is that dragon choking itself with its own tail, or is that just a collar around its neck? I can't quite tell on that pin.
It does look like it's choking itself with its own tail.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's like strangling itself, and it might not be. I think it's just the way the pin is set up. I think that might just be a collar. I don't think that's actually his tail, but it kind of looks that way.
It's very hard to tell.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, that's like some Ouroboros shit where you're like, you're eating your own tail, and it's like this one is like full circle, except, you are just like self-hanging yourself or whatever, which is a wild thing to say.
I'm not going to lie. Oh, there you go.
Looks like you named it is an Ouroboros. He is eating his own tail. And he does have a weird collar.
Get that man I don't know, a sword and a shield. Send him out. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
So the Order of the Dragon was founded in 1408, and it died out sometime in the 16th century. And at this point, you are probably thinking to yourself, okay, but what's the connection? Well, in the real world, the connection is Vladislav II, or Vlad Dracul, who was father to one Vlad the Impaler. Vlad gained the name Dracul during his time in the Order of the Dragon, of which he was made a member by Sigismund in 1431, and he was also recognised as the voivode of Valaya and settled in Transylvania, which was nearby. Valaya only became his officially once his half-brother died, but when that happened, Vlad Dracul seized the lands with Hungarian support, and he ruled there until 1447. His son, Dracula, would start his first very short reign in October of 1448, a reign that lasted, by the way, until November of that same year.
Well, that's not great. That's not great for Dracula.
I mean,
I wonder how he died.
Succeed, he gave it a go, didn't work out, he came back again.
Yeah.
And then again.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Apparently so. Really, apparently so.
Or in the case of a vampire, what kills you does in fact make you stronger.
Oh, you're getting ahead now. This is the thing. You're skipping again.
Well, it's Dracula. Everybody knows.
I know.
Everybody knows he's gonna die, and then he's gonna come back as a vampire. We all know, right? We get it. It's okay. Anyway, go on.
It's not like he's one of the most storied characters of all time or anything.
Bela Lugosi, best Dracula ever, by the way. I'm just...
So this section I have merely titled "The Many Impalings of Vlad," because Vlad the Impaler is a very interesting person, and he's well documented enough that, to be honest, we could go for a long time just talking about him and not even touching the fact that it would appear that he is in some form in Trench Crusade. For the purpose of this episode, we'll be mostly focusing on the way he gained the name the Impaler, as that especially feels extremely appropriate to the setting. God damn.
I got a sneaking suspicion on how Vlad got the nickname the Impaler. I don't know that this is really that deep, is it?
Oh, but the thing is, it's the scale of it is still surprising. Even though he's called Vlad the Impaler, oh boy.
You don't expect the numbers. You don't expect him to be as prolific as he was. Okay.
Oh, it is genuinely surprising just how much he liked impaling people. So, yeah, we're kind of focusing on the Impaler bit, as that feels extremely appropriate for Trench Crusade, right? But I did want to say beforehand that Vlad has also been regarded by some as something of a folk hero due to his opposition of the Ottomans, who were very closely tied to that region at the time, whether the locals liked it or not. And there are also definite instances of stories being told about the guy that aren't based in fact. So, as we will get to, the Saxons, for instance, had a bone to pick with Vlad, and some of the accounts given by them are treated with some caution. This is what I mean when I say we could just go on for hours. This section, it's not an exhaustive historical account because that would take forever. It's more like a Spike-based highlight reel of the man who, in Trench Crusade, it seems, would cause significant discomfort to 1 million heretics via the use of sharpened wood.
I like that you chose specifically to say a Spike-based highlight for Vlad the Impaler. I like it. I like that. That's not bad. That's a good segue.
I'm not going to lie, I've been very happy with this script ever since I finished it.
Let's go.
So, historically, Vlad the Impaler has become known for being a bit potentially over the top when it comes to a certain activity. Like, you don't get a reputation for impaling people thanks to a sharp wit. You get it for, impaling people.
Sharp wit. You done it again, Kirioth. You done it again.
This reputation for cruelty seems to have begun during his second reign of Valaya, which I keep stumbling over, even though I've put the pronunciation right next to it every time. It's recorded that he executed hundreds or even thousands of people during his second reign. He also sought a purge against the boyars who helped murder his father and elder brother, or just anyone that he thought might be plotting against him. It was a kind of, these people are rebels, these people are traitors, kill them. Or, I just don't like that guy. He seems shifty. Impale the dude, let's go. Like,
so Vlad the Impaler was a relatively paranoid guy, huh?
It turns out, you're shocked, I can tell. During his third reign, he came into conflict with the Saxons, specifically some Saxon merchants following a trade dispute. Naturally, his mediation involved taking some 300 boys and then torturing, impaling, or burning them alive, which is why the Saxons didn't like Vlad. And, I mean, given what he did, they did exaggerate some of his acts, it seems, but at the same time, torturing, impaling, and burning, you don't really need to exaggerate how awful that is because it is just flat out awful to begin with. So
yeah, that's not great. That's oh yeah, I don't love that. And you said it was like boys. It was like young kids essentially. It sounds like.
Yeah.
That's like, not that it makes it any better if it's just adults, but that just feels so much worse and so much more awful. And it's just like,
yeah, it's pretty grim. It's pretty gross.
yeah.
After a bit of back and forth with the Saxons, Vlad then invaded Transylvania and went into the suburbs of Brasov and then ordered all the captured men and women to be, you guessed it, impaled. Yeah. There's a trend. There's a trend here. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
In the late 1450s, Vlad decided to ignore the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, which made the Sultan quite cross, so he sent some lads to go and tell Vlad to come to Constantinople. Vlad killed them, obviously, and then in 1462... Oh, well, hang on.
Okay,
It doesn't say specifically that he impaled them, at least not that I read. He did kill them, because of course he did. And then in 1462, he decided to do like a reverse Uno card, and he decided to invade the Ottoman Empire. And this was, as historians say, a whole thing. One of the takeaways from this conflict, however, is this quote that I would like you to read.
You know, Shai, I know what an impalement looks like. You don't have to keep posting pictures of impalings.
It's in case you forget. It's in case you forget. You need to know.
The Sultan's army entered into the area of the impalements, which was 17 stades long and 7 stades wide. There were large stakes there on which, as it was said, about 20,000 men, women, and children had been spitted. Quite a sight for the Turks and the Sultan himself. The Sultan was seized with amazement and said that it was not possible to deprive of his country a man who had done such great deeds, who had such a diabolical understanding of how to govern his realm and its people. And he said that a man who had done such things was worth much. The rest of the Turks were dumbfounded when they saw the multitude of men on the stakes. There were infants too, Oh boy.
Yep.
That's there were infants too affixed to their mothers on the stakes, and birds had made their nests in their entrails. I don't like it here anymore, Kieran.
It's not great. It's not great. Just for reference,
that is quite the opposite of great. That's
yeah.
Yuck.
Look, I told you he really liked impaling.
Yeah.
Dude loved it. Couldn't get enough. Just for reference, by the way, a stade is about 185 meters. So when it says it was 17 stades long and 7 stades wide, that's 185 times 17.
What's that in freedom units, though?
For meters? I don't know.
Yeah, but how many feet is that?
Oh God, I don't know that either.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm
so 3,145 meters.
It's fine.
Oh, okay. So that would be it was 9,435 feet long.
Well, that would be probably around the space you would need for 20,000 impalings.
It's like the visual imagery there is absolutely nightmarish. It's just horrible. Hang on, Shy. We've got to read
Shy,
this.
why have you sent a detailed description of how impalement works?
Or do we want to read this? Because I've got like 4 sentences in scanning it, and I'm like, oh no.
I think we're good. Just moving on. What happened next, Kirioth?
Although this bit, one day I saw a man upon the pole who was sentenced to continue so for 3 hours alive, and that he might not die too soon. The stake was not thrust up far enough to come out at any part of his body. And they also put a stale rest upon the pole to hinder the weight of his body from making him sink down upon it, or the point of it piercing him through, which would have presently killed him. Oh, dear God.
Which would have presently, in this manner he was left for some hours, during which time he spoke, and turning from one side to another praised those that passed by to kill him. Yeah, that sucks.
Okay.
I don't like that.
All right.
No, I don't love that. That sucks.
Not a good guy, it turns out.
No kidding. Vlad the Impaler, not a good guy. Nicknamed after the act of impaling. Not a great guy. Kirioth, please. The slander is unreal.
Now, funnily enough, this show of, if not strength, then, the willingness to do a decent amount of killing definitely sent a message, and the Ottomans, who were already suffering from the heat and thirst of the summer, ended up retreating from Valea, with his actions in Trench Crusade mirroring this part of history, albeit on a much bigger scale. Like, where he impaled 20,000 in real life in that one instance, 1 million heretics were impaled in Trench Crusade. I think you've probably got a good measure of the guy at this point. Like, we're focused heavily on the impaling, but he loved it. Like, he must have done. You don't do that much impaling of people if you aren't enjoying it at least a little bit. It's just
I also feel like I'm sure he enjoyed it, but it also sends one hell of a message to anyone that is thinking of betraying you, crossing you, starting a war with you, thinking of starting a fight with you. It's like, that is Vlad the fucking Impaler. If anything goes wrong, there are 20,000 to 1 million examples of why I should not even consider crossing that man. That's a hell of a warning.
Oh, 100%. Like, there's no way. There's no way you're going to look at all of that and go, you know what? I think we can get away with it. No. Absolutely
don't cross
not.
him.
Yes, yeah. Like, that's when I mentioned earlier, like him being something of a folk hero, like a national hero. Principally in Romania, because he defended the country from the Ottoman Empire. So in that respect. You know, he did do an awful lot of quite horrible things. He also like protected to some extent the people that he ruled over, but he also had a habit of killing some of them as well. So a complex character, I think you might say.
Yeah.
I do not have the third letter, no. Okay.
Oh.
One of the greatest Romanian poets, oh no. May I ask you? Sure. Dedicated a historic ballad, the third letter to the valiant princes of Vlaia, including Vlad. He urges Vlad to return from the grave and to annihilate the enemies of the Romanian nation. You must come, O dread Impaler, confound them to your care, split them in two partitions, here the fools, the rascals there. Shove them into two enclosures, from the broad daylight inile them. Then set fire to the prison and the lunatic asylum. Oh my god.
Fucking hell. That honestly, that sounds like a heavy metal like lyric.
That is.
Like that just sounds like lyrics from like just some really heavy metal song, right?
It really does.
Also, you must come, oh dread Impaler is like, bro. That's so fucking metal.
And this is asking him to come back. Even the guy who's like, save us again, is going, oh, dread Impaler. Not like brave protector. No. No. We're very much focusing on the horrible fear aspect of Vlad there, aren't we? Good lord.
That's so metal, though. Oh,
that's honestly sick. That's great.
Jesus Christ.
So we do have some date shenanigans going on when it comes to Vlad in Trench Crusade, because we kind of need to acknowledge that the real history and the fictional history split off from one another, since we've been deep in the 1400s and the halting of the heretic advance by the Sacred Order of the Dragon happened in 1573. So, like, if we're to assume that the overall history of that region is as untouched as possible, given that hell has invaded the earth, that would put the old impaling a million heretics situation as occurring a full century after the death of Vlad the Impaler. And as far as I'm aware, Vlad never actually held a position in the Order of the Dragon to begin with. That was his father, Vlad Dracul. And that, I'm so happy that Possum did back me up on that, because I went crazy Googling it and searching for stuff, because a good number of people say that he was, and a good number of people say that he wasn't. But I couldn't find an official source that said that he was. So Possum double-checked. He wasn't part of the Order of the Dragon. It was just his dad. But yeah, like the dates don't fully line up. Of course, it could be that with one thing or another, Vlad the Impaler's birth was simply shunted forward 100 years or so, and so there's nothing else to it. But that's boring to think about, so we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to talk about vampires, because that's more interesting.
Let's go! Also, I love how you just casually like, oh yeah, the old, impaling of a million people, like, it's just no big deal. Just, yeah, that old thing? Yeah, y'all remember that good time, right?
It's fine. This is Trench Crusade. Horrible atrocities happen every other day. What's the problem?
Yeah, that's true. Like,
what's a million impaled heretics here and there?
I was going to say, in the scope of Trench Crusade, the impaling of a million people, probably notable event, probably not even the worst event, though. It's like, oh yeah, that sucks, but, it wasn't like the Great Heresy or anything.
I wouldn't, I like the idea that it's in the official timeline, not because a million heretics being murdered in a year is anything new or different, but just that the methodology was something a bit different. It's like, well, yeah, we kill millions of these idiots constantly, but this is a fresh take on it. We've not seen this before. We need to write this down. Impalement, it's just not that common. It's usually shooting or stabbing, but this, brand new approach.
Wow, what an innovator.
Vlad's the innovator.
Yeah, also the rate at which he, like, because in the span of a year, like, man, how many people a day would he have had to impaled to get to 1 million in a year?
Dude is on the grind. Absolutely. He's doing what he loves. Wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. Yeah, works out by impaling.
Impaler impaling grind set. Yeah. Love that. Sheesh.
Now, we're not going to go absolutely ham on the history of vampires, because, again, that could just be an entire episode without mentioning Vlad the Impaler at all or Trench Crusade, but they are a fascinating bit of folklore and they deserve at least a little bit of an introduction. Basically, we as a species have been scared of things trying to suck out our blood for a long, long, long time. Like the Mesopotamians had stories about demons and spirits that are seen as precursors to what we know as vampires today. As long-standing fears go, it is right up there. We do not want things to remove our blood forcefully from any part of us, really.
Yeah.
Understandable, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
However, the modern vampire is very much that, with the folklore for what we consider to be the vampire as originating in like the early 18th century in southeastern Europe, when people began traveling around and recording the oral traditions of like ethnic groups in that region. The earliest known reference to something vampiric was in Russia from potentially as early as the 11th century. And from that, like, it's so, I love this part of like looking into Trench Crusade because it makes you look at how far back some of the things that we accept as being either part of like pop culture or folklore or mythology or religion. Like you're kind of forced to look at where it came from originally. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, oh, wow, we've, as a group, this has been in the collective consciousness for like hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah, like centuries or more.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's an unexpected, like, fun side effect of doing these episodes where I'm just starting to learn way more about folklore and religion as a whole that I had no idea about. And every time I start looking into something, I'm like, I think I know where this came from. And then about 10 minutes in, I'm like, I had no idea where this came from at all.
Kira's like, oh yeah, it was fun learning about all this stuff. I learned a little too much about impalement, though. That was a very unnecessary side effect, though. Didn't need that, but here we are.
Oh, I mean, you know, he just loved it. He just did. So, yeah, the earliest known reference is the 11th century, but from there, the idea of a blood-sucking vampire became more like common in text in the 1700s, and the vampire epidemics across Europe began shortly after that. Interestingly, there's quite a bit of variation as to how someone ends up as a vampire. It's not just a case of like getting bitten by an existing one. In most cases, they're the revenants of witches, evil beings, suicide victims, or the result of an evil spirit possessing a corpse. As with so much of this stuff, it's not just stories either. And I don't mean that, you know, people are actually vampires, more that people back in the day made these stories real by reacting to them with mass hysteria and public executions. Think witch trials, they had that for vampires as well.
I was about to say that sounds like something that happened in Salem, where it's like they don't actually exist, but we're really scared about these, you know, rumors and stories, and so witch hunt. Well, I guess vampire hunt, right?
Yeah. I mean, that poster. Believe in vampires. Rhode Islanders who are sure that they do exist. Instances told of where the living have been attacked and preyed upon by these representatives of an unseen world. A member of the anti-vampire party.
It's always Rhode Island, isn't it, Shane? It's always Rhode Island.
I just like the idea that there's a pro-vampire party. Yeah,
they're probably, I mean, if there's an anti-vampire party, there's got to be a pro one, right?
It's got to be someone. It's like, they're not all bad. Come on. Just give them a chance.
And then there's the middle of the road that are like, well, they're not great, but like they can be okay.
They're good for the economy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, when it comes to European folklore, vampires aren't actually all morning suits and pencil moustaches. There's a ton of variety in how they're described, although a common theme is them being like bloated and ruddy, maybe a bit purplish, wearing the shroud that it was buried in. Quite often there'd be blood seeping from the eyes or mouth, which is another facet of them, along with the sound of chewing coming from graves.
Ooh, I do not like that. That is not what I was imagining for historical variations of vampires. Was bloated corpses in veils, and I mean, chewing sounds, I guess, makes sense, right? That's always been sort of a vampiric thing, but the other stuff and
Yeah, but the idea of walking through a graveyard and hearing someone chewing noisily is just horrible.
not great.
It's
Yeah, yes.
awful.
If you're in a field with cows, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. They're chewing on the grass. That's fine. As you're walking through a cemetery, no, it's so much.
It's a bit of a contrast to the sparkly wankers from Twilight, isn't it? It's a little bit different.
I watched Twilight for the first time like this year, and
Why?
I think I was hate watching it. And when I watched it, I was under the assumption that when people said, "Oh yeah, they're sparkly vampires," I was like, "Oh, I get it," because everybody's so down bad for Edward. They're like, "Oh, look at how handsome he is." It's like, "Oh, he's so sparkly." I did not realize that their skin glowed like diamonds in the sun, and they were actually, honest to God, sparkly, and that's how you could tell they were vampires. I was flabbergasted. I was like, "Actually shiny?" Anyway, sorry, completely unrelated, but vampires, eh?
I mean, not totally unrelated, but also just not on. They're the least cool vampire, and I think it's time everyone just accepted that. They just are.
Yeah.
So some of what we've been talking about goes back to like our previous episode of Acceptable Losses on Trench Crusade, as some of the earlier interpretations of vampires were just demons in human forms or seductresses. They began to spiral a bit more from there, but the tropes began in an almost biblical sense. For example, the earliest depictions of Lilith are of a demon that drinks the blood of her victims. So that kind of fear and belief has been around for a long, long time. Now, before we get onto our most well-known vampiric version of our old friend Vlad, I did want to mention some of the preventative measures taken against vampires. Actually, no, you can do this bit. Here's a nice list.
I will.
This is to prevent corpses from reviving and becoming upure, which is another word for them. Mostly Slavic countries, this is what would happen.
Okay, so to prevent vampires, burying a body upside down, I've actually heard of that one, putting a scythe over the neck so it decapitates itself if it tries to stand up, placing poppy seeds near the grave so the vampire has to count them before he can do anything else, and severing the tendons at the knees. This all sounds like stuff to make it, like, just impossible for it to rise from the grave.
It's all about keeping them down, making sure they can't go anywhere. The severing the tendons at the knees for some reason really got me, because it feels very clinical. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other ones are just like, weird superstition.
The poppy seed is funny because it's like, oh yeah, the vampire has to count them before it does anything else. And it's like, yeah, but it's immortal. Counting like 1,000 poppy seeds is not that big of a deal, and it's not going to stop him for long. Like, what, you might get an hour out of him at the most, depending on how many poppy seeds you put down?
Also,
like the other ones are all make sense. Well, yeah, why? Like putting a scythe at its neck. It's like, oh yeah, if it tries to rise up, it's going to cut its own fucking head off. That's a pretty good preventative measure. Cutting its tendons. I get it. Poppy seeds, because it'll have to count for a little bit? Really?
That's like the burying a body upside down. I can kind of see that because it makes it inconvenient. The poppy seeds is just pure like folk belief. It's just superstition full on. The scythe over the neck feels like the less intelligent version of the severing the tendons at the knees. Because if that scythe isn't razor sharp, it's not going to sit up and decapitate itself. It's not going to have enough force to do that. But the severing the tendons is like an operation. It's like it's been considered and thought about, where it's like, well, if we do that, it means that it can't walk, and therefore it won't be able to, catch people.
Do anything.
Which will keep people
safe.
safe.
To, like, just crawl along,
Yeah, which just feels really oddly surgical, and like a doctor went, hang on. I've got a plan here. It's just very, very fun, like the mix of different approaches. So during
go ahead.
Go on.
No, you go.
All right. During the New England vampire panic, where that image comes from, which was a reaction to the outbreak of tuberculosis, bodies were exhumed and internal organs ritually burned to stop the deceased vampire from attacking the local population and to prevent the spread of the disease. That happened in late 19th century. Wow. You would think people would be less dumb at this point, but I guess I expect too much from New England.
Yeah, that's well, that's
like in a weird way, trying to stop the spread of the disease. I can kind of see it sort of, but only when it's not connected with stop people from rising from the dead and doing it. That is wild.
Yeah, that's a little kooky.
Good grief. Now, the question is, at this point, all of this is all well and good, right? But what about our vampire? What about Vlad the Impaler? How did he end up being the poster child for modern media depictions of a being that should, if we're going by those sort of 1700 rules, be just a bloated sack of shit with blood coming out of his eyes and a dirty sheet wrapped around his chest? Really, we've only got one person to blame, and it's Bram Stoker.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I say blame.
Sort of romanticized the idea of Dracula and vampires and turned him. That's fair. That's fair. Yep.
That's the thing. When Dracula was published in 1897, it was the first book to make that connection between vampirism and Vlad the Impaler, aka Vlad Dracula. What makes this kind of funny is that Bram Stoker didn't actually know very much about him. He knew a bit about Valaya. He had read an article about vampires in Romanian folklore, and he was off to the races. He was writing. There's no full, there's references. I thought, this is where, again, Possum came in clutch, because I couldn't find anything that suggested that there was a reference to the actual historical Vlad the Impaler in his working papers. And that really he'd sort of just found the name Dracula in a book and gone, that'll do. I think that means devil in Romanian. That'll be fine. Actually, it turns out that the ambiguity is due to the writing, but he historically did know about Vlad, and there are references to Vlad in the text itself, but they're really vague. So there's two lines to look out for. One on page 25, which was, "Who was it but one of my one race who, as voivode, crossed the Danube and beat the Turk on his own ground? This was a Dracula indeed. Woe that his own unworthy brother, when he had fallen, sold his people to the Turk and brought the shame of slavery on them." And then later on, there's a speculation that Van Helsing has. He must indeed have been that voivode Dracula who won his name against the Turks over the great river on the very frontier of Turkey land. So it's stated that he may have taken the name as a reference to the devil, but the references to the Danube are historically accurate to Vlad II, but not the third, who is Dracula. So, there's some degree of historical accountability there. What that means, in a literary sense, we don't know, because he's, the author's dead. So we can't ask.
Kind of hard to ask the source when they're dead.
Makes it tricky. It could just be an insinuation of how old Dracula's family lineage is and giving him human-like connections to grim history. We just don't know. But that was the book that made the connection, and that has become the template, or for a while at least, became the template for what is a vampire. Well, it's what was written for Dracula, kind of.
Right. And now we got the slick-backed hair, the cape, the suit.
Yeah.
Very debonair.
The classics. You've got to have a good suit. You're not a proper vampire if you're wearing an old sheet.
You need the cape. You got to have a good cape.
Got to be able to make an entrance as well. A really good entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, Trench Crusade, 1,000,000 heretics impaled in the hills of Vlaia, a place notable because it's the home of the most famous vampire in all of fiction. I mean, for my money, there is a much more interesting and fun alternative to Vlad the Impaler simply being a bit late, and that's the idea that the Sacred Order of the Dragon is being led by a fictionalized version who is bloodthirsty in a literal sense rather than a figurative one. I mean, it's already full of horrible creatures, right? Trench Crusade has got fallen angels, eldritch entities, literal, actual ghosts. Would a full-blown vampire really be that outlandish?
Honestly, it would probably be one of the lesser outlandish things in Trench Crusade. Everything that's going on, if you were like, oh yeah, also vampires, it's like, yeah, that tracks. That's not strange. That's not weird. I mean, just, look at the forces of hell. I mean, what's that big, like, dog demon that's got, like, the two dog things coming out the sides of its head and shit, and it's got, like, what is it, like organ wings with mouths on it? Like, yeah, of course vampires can exist in this world. They're not even a big deal in this world, probably.
It is funny the way you phrase it with that, because there is something far more outlandish literally in this episode. So,
oh no,
really? I mean, vampires? It would slot in. It would easily slot in. It's just not that mad.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is that in the real world, Vlad III was a storied figure that had an insane reputation, and for very good reason. Oh, hang on, wait, the Vlad and Jesus connection. Oh, wait, is this?
There's got to be some sort of rise from the grave thing, right? Where, like, because Dracula dies, rises from the dead to become a vampire.
Wasn't it?
I'm sure there's a Jesus also resurrection deal that.
See, I'm thinking of a film.
I kind of get it.
I can't remember what film it is. Isn't there some film that implies that Vlad the Impaler is actually Judas Iscariot, and that's why they don't like silver? Because he was paid like 2 silver pieces or whatever for betraying Jesus.
Oh.
What? That probably came from somewhere that wasn't that film.
I had never thought about that. That's fair. That's an interesting little connector.
I wish I could remember what film I first saw that in. I don't think the film came up with it necessarily, but that is something that I remember from. I think I might have been in high school and watched something that had that like plot point, but for the life of me, I can't remember what the thing was. For some reason, Renaissance painters painted Vlad being present around Jesus during his judgment / crucifixion. Okay. What? Why? Right. That is mad.
I like that the only response is, why?
I was just like, what?
Why?
What a choice.
Well, yeah, that is a choice.
Did anyone ever interview one of them and be like, "Hey, dude, what's Vlad the Impaler doing in that painting?
Yeah.
What's
old Vladdy doing there? Why is he hanging out here? What are you doing?"
There's got to have been a good reason, right? Oh, okay. So, from what I can tell, he had a shit reputation among Germans, so German painters used his likeness for bad guys.
Well, I mean,
it's the original
for a bad guy than the guy named the Impaler.
Yeah. It's the original photoshopping someone out of a picture. You're doing the opposite to make them look bad.
Crazy.
I don't know why. That's really making me laugh. That is mental.
Like, the guy in the chair is supposed to be Pontius Pilate, but it's clearly fucking Vlad.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, man, you can tell how early it is and how bad my brain is working. I called him Pontius Pilate. What the fuck, dude? What are you doing?
I wasn't gonna pick you up on that. I was like, it's fine.
What the fuck is going on, brain? Come on, you just gotta rev it a little bit. He's not a fucking party boy, like, Jesus. God. All right, let's move on.
No, see, now you've drawn attention to it. Now I just keep thinking about Pontius, and it's really getting
good old
really
Pontius Pilate, eh, brother? Jesus Christ!
So
I heard it back a few seconds later, and I was like, "You said what?"
Oh dear. Okay, so the fact is, the real world Vlad, very like a storied figure, had an insane reputation, and for very good reason. His cruelty was notable even for the time, and his brutality was being reported during his lifetime. A notable rumor, which is unproven but still provides something of a fun basis for his transformation into a blood-sucking monster, is that he once dipped his bread into the blood of his impaled victims. This was a rumor, by the way, never proven true, but
I can see it. I mean, look at him. I could see him doing that 100%.
I mean, he's sat there condemning Jesus to death. Of course he eats bread dipped in blood.
So is it bad that, like, I saw the picture of, like, oh, yeah, it's just Vlad condemning him, and my mind was just like, Vlad probably saw a crucifixion and was like, I've got a better way.
This is old tech. I've got something way better.
Yeah, you guys know there's a better way to do this.
You're out here.
You heard of my name before?
You're out here using 2 big pieces of wood. You can just use one. And it doesn't even have to be big, all right? It's just got to be a visionary.
Don't worry, guys. I can make it last. Ugh. Yuck.
It shouldn't be a surprise, by the way, but apparently Vlad was very much not well, like, at all. And I'm not just talking, like, mentally, because of all the impalings.
Oh, okay. I was like, of course he's got a few screws loose. He's Vlad the Impaler!
Recent chemical analysis on the letters he wrote showed a distinct lack of certain proteins in the residue of those letters. And some suggest that this means he was a vegetarian, but it seems more likely that he was staunchly religious and followed Lent-based dietary restrictions. But the consistency of this lack suggests that he may have had a major protein deficiency and could have had hemolacria, which is a condition that makes your tears bloody due to bacterial issues. So,
oh, interesting.
That feels like one of those is science secretly magic things for me.
Yeah, true.
I understood what the word said, but the idea that you can run analysis on like ancient letters and decide that a guy wasn't getting enough protein is wild.
You could discern his diet, and it's also it's crazy that after all this, I was like, the most insane bit of news would have been, yeah, Vlad was a vegetarian. It's like, what? I'm just like, when I think of Vlad the Impaler, I just imagine him with like a big old turkey leg, just like ripping into it. As people are getting impaled, fires are burning all around him and stuff, and it's like, he's a vegetarian? Really? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's like the last person that I'd assume would be a vegetarian.
Severely undercooked as well, borderline raw. You feel like it's got to be juicy, or else you wouldn't enjoy it.
Damn near bloody, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It would also appear that either the Sacred Order of the Dragon has some absolutely elite combat skills in Trench Crusade, given the whole million heretic kill count, or they have some very good weaponry, or they are capable of mustering up enough fighting men and women to capture or kill 1 million heretics. Or, and hear me out here, they have some special lads of their own. Now, we don't know how long it took for the heretic advance to be completely stopped, but it's safe to say that the Sacred Order were putting some serious work in, or had the help of someone.
Definitely doing numbers, yeah.
Or they had the help of someone or something considerably stronger and more powerful than anything else on the battlefield in that area at that time, which makes the idea of a vampire Dracula so interesting in this context, is that the Sacred Order of the Dragon stopped a heretic invasion. As the name suggests, they are firmly on the side of Christianity, which would imply that so is Vlad. And a Christian vampire fighting against the forces of hell isn't actually as unlikely as you might think, since real-life Vlad fought against the Ottomans and held Christian beliefs.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a couple of paths to vampirism that Vlad could take in Trench Crusade as well. There's the standard he got bit approach, although that would probably be a bit too normal and lackluster for this setting. He could be a communicant, a successful one that's gained an extremely long life, for instance. The most interesting option for me, though, is the Iron Sultanate. See, real Vlad was imprisoned in the Ottoman Empire with his brother and father. His father was released, but the two sons remained there as hostages. They were released after a time, and Vlad ended up back in the empire after his first reign over Valaya came to an abrupt end. Now, of course, we don't have the Ottoman Empire in Trench Crusade. We have the Iron Sultanate.
Iron Sultanate, yeah.
What are they known for? What do they love doing?
Well, no, I don't love building walls. They love being behind the wall. What does the Iron Sultanate love?
Big into alchemy.
Right.
Love them some alchemy, which, I mean, that could cause all sorts of interesting effects, wanted or unwanted, depending on how successful the alchemist has been. So maybe Vlad drunk a particularly special and interesting potion and is now somewhat reliant on feasting on the blood of living people. It's possible.
Well, I mean, there are plenty of heretics and ne'er-doers to drink the blood of in Trench Crusade, so hey, feast away, king, I guess. Yeah, I forgot all about the that really cool, like, alchemy, like, armor and stuff that they had, because it's been a little bit since that Trench Crusade episode, but sheesh, that shit still slaps so hard with the mask and the armor, and oh, man.
They're still
That's
great.
so cool.
They look so good. Now, if all of that wasn't enough, there is one other reinforcing factor when it comes to the idea of Vlad Tepes being vampiric in nature, and this is a piece of art which was posted during the Trench Crusade Kickstarter, which is a Vampire Hussar. Now, I do have that art here somewhere. Where's it gone? It should literally have been on my desktop, but now I can't find it. There we go.
No,
I found it. There we go. I knew I'd stored it. So, that
let's go.
Quite clearly at the top there, like the text reads Vampire Hussar, and then underneath we've got the words Church Cult Com, most likely Communion. There's also the letters BLO, most likely Blood. So possibly like the church-based cult Communion of Blood, something like that, would make the most sense from what we can see. And then driven with BL, again, most likely Blood.
Blood, yeah.
And then seal
them in steel.
Yep.
Oh, man. That slaps so hard. Oh, man, that's so rockstar. Seal the vampires in steel. Ooh. And they're going to have like real dope ass. Oh.
You just know it. You absolutely know it.
Oh, yeah. I need it. I need it.
I'm just saying, if Vlad isn't some flavor of vampire with a vampire army, I'll be disappointed. I'll be very disappointed because
missed opportunity.
100%. I want to see a full picture of that Hussar, like sooner rather than later, because it looks so good. Now, we need to talk about a house on legs. It's important.
Oh, yeah, the hut on legs, yeah.
It's important to talk about the hut on legs. We need the map, which, you know what? I've done a thing where I try to reorganize all of my documents to make more sense. And I did the thing, you know, when you go, I'm going to put this somewhere safe so I don't lose it. And then you immediately lose it. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yep.
There's
order in the chaos.
Yeah, there we go.
Anytime I'm just like, oh yeah, I know where everything on my desk is, and if somebody else cleans it, it's like, where'd everything go? I don't know where anything is. And I'm like, but it was a fucking mess before. Yeah, but I knew where everything in the mess was.
I don't have object permanence. You can't just move stuff. It disappears.
Like a fucking cat.
So, on the official Trench Crusade map, if you look to the top right, you'll see the Tsardom of Novgorod, the banner of which extends into Siberia, and just below both of those is a house. This is not a normal house, however, as it's striding across the land on two big old chicken legs, and when it comes to folklore, that can only really mean one thing, which is Baba Yaga. Now, Baba Yaga is a figure
wings
from...
too, actually.
It does actually... Oh, is that wings? I think that's curtains blowing out the window.
Oh, you might be right about that, actually.
I think.
That might be curtains blowing out the window, yeah. Also, when you said a house with legs, I was just assuming a house that had, like, human-ass legs. I was not expecting chicken legs.
Oh, yeah.
Bird legs or just avian legs, yeah.
There's even a reason for it being chicken legs, which is awesome, which we'll get to in a minute, but... Yeah, I just love the fact that that's on the map. I love it. I love the fact that...
Yeah. Strolling around.
Yeah.
I feel like this seems actually kind of familiar. Did we do a Trench Crusade episode with Bricky? And he was like, why is there a house with legs? And you were like, we don't have time.
Yeah, we touched on it very briefly. It was pretty much that.
Yeah.
It was just like, also this. What the hell is happening?
Okay, I guess we'll get to it eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did. It just probably took like 6 months or something.
Crazy.
Got there in the end. She's a figure from Slavic folklore, and she doesn't just live deep in the forest in her chicken-legged hut. She also flies around in a wooden mortar, waving a pestle about, and should you chance upon her while on some sort of adventure, you might find that she's just a nice old woman who'll give you a helping hand. Or you might see a horrible nightmare lady who eats fried children on the regular. It kind of depends on the story, and given that we're talking about Trench Crusade, I feel like the story may err on the side of, eating children.
You say fried children? She fries them up?
Chucks them in the big old cauldron, off they go.
Oh, man. That's kind of messed up, Baba Yaga.
I just like the fact that she rides around in a mortar and pestle. It's just...
Yeah.
Weirdly specific, but also random at the same time.
Also, man, that second picture Shai posted is fucking terrifying, dude. That is going to be a source of nightmares for a while. Good lord. That sucks.
I love it. It looks great. This is like very much my sort of thing. I love all the like weirder, older, kind of freaky, scary stories. A lot of them are very like bizarre and just disjointed messes, but there's like a charm to them, and yeah, that sort of Grimm's fairy tale side of things where it's all just mad.
Shai, is Baba Yaga in John Wick where they were like, oh, it was the boogeyman? It's like, no, he's the one you fucking called to kill the fucking boogeyman. Or am I thinking, or is they call, that's his nickname? Okay, cool. I was trying to remember if it was that or if it was something else that sounded like that, because I was like, I've heard it before, and I was like, John Wick. And anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it shows up in that film briefly.
Mm-hmm.
In a weird context, I think. Now that I've read more up about it, the less I understand as to why he was referred to like that. But whatever.
Yeah.
With this particular bit of folklore, we don't have the same level of clear and coherent detail that we did with Vlad. So when it comes to like motivations and possible directions, things are obviously going to be a bit more complicated and open-ended. But to even approach that, we should first lay out what Baba Yaga is. The first reference to her appears in 1755 in Mikhail I can't do it again. I've been practicing this. I've literally been practicing this.
I believe in you, Kirioth. I believe in you. Oh, no. And the thing is, like, again, to American DK, I see Lomonosovs.
Yeah,
I think that's probably how you say it.
I think that's right. I think that's probably right.
Oh.
I found myself just getting stuck on like llama, and I would just keep repeating that a couple of times. I don't know what it is. It short circuits my brain reading this. Lomonosovs. There we go.
Kiria's just sitting there on repeat, smoke coming out of his ears. Llama, 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 llama.
No joke, that literally happened earlier. Yeah.
Reboot him, quick.
Yes, he's a writer, and he in 1755 wrote Russian grammar, and that's the guy.
That didn't help.
I'm so glad you said it.
I'm sorry, Shy. Anyway, go ahead. What did he write?
Oh, we were close then. Lomonosov. There we go.
Yeah,
got it.
We were on the right track. Yeah.
So, like, she shows up alongside other traditional Slavic figures for the most part, with the second mention being specifically within a list of Slavic gods that relates them to their Roman equivalents. The thing is, she appears without a Roman equivalent, making her fairly unique. There are theories, though, that despite not being given an equivalent in Russian grammar, Baba Yaga is the Slavic version of Charon, the ferryman of the dead in Greek mythology. This stems from the chicken-legged hut she lives in, because that is a Finno-Ugric tradition to store the dead awaiting burial in huts on stilts made from trees with the roots still attached. Which, when you think about the visual of that...
That's weird.
I mean,
and it does kind of look like chicken legs, doesn't it? If the roots are still attached,
yeah,
and the house is built on them, that would look like chicken legs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. I really like that as a kind of theory for the origin of it. This also lines up with fairy tales where her home is effectively a gateway to the realm of the dead, with Baba Yaga being the guardian of this gateway, which heroes of these tales must placate in order to cross over to the other side and then return. Most of the stories mentioning her have some variation of this chicken-legged hut, her mortar and pestle, and or a mop or broom, which she rides on when not riding inside the mortar, at which point she uses the broom to sweep away her tracks. Much of that is consistent with stereotypes regarding women participating in pagan rituals.
Is this also where just the common sort of look of a witch comes from, with the broom riding and stuff?
There's very much a connection there, yeah. It's kind of, from what I could tell, I didn't do a huge amount of research into that side of things, because we were, like, this was going to end up being, like, 18 pages long. But the traditional idea of a witch, just, like, with, like, riding a broom and the like, having a bit of, like, a long hooked nose, that sort of thing, it's very much sort of Baba Yaga inspired.
Yeah, I was going to say, this all sounds very much like you're sort of like, what the Western's traditional idea of what a witch looks like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So some of the descriptions of her are properly horrifying, by the way. She's known as Bony Leg, which is most likely a reference to her being both of the living and the dead, one leg being skeletal, with the other one being flesh and blood. She's also said to be with iron teeth, and when she's inside her home, she can be stretched out over the stove with her body reaching from one corner of the hut to the other, which...
Oh.
like a horrible, like, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, except it's a hag.
Yeah, it is. She also specifically calls out, like, the Russian scent of those who visit her. It's a little bit more complex than that, which Possum has helped with. So the term is, like, Ruski Dukha. A more realistic translation of it is actually Russian soul. It's a reference to the unique identity of a Russian. So when it refers to her as being able to smell it, it's essentially saying she can smell your Russian ethnicity. So it's, like, very heavily tied into that part of the world. Oh, and her nose can stick into the ceiling as well.
Sure. I mean, I'm assuming it's just like that picture there where it's like it can because it's long and pointy.
Yep.
Ooh,
yeah.
But it's not, like, stuck there. Why would it need to?
Look, I have no idea. This is another one where it feels like
I was
there's
gonna
some.
say, why is that even a mentionable fact that her nose can stick into the ceiling? Does she do it all the time? And is there a reason she does it all the time?
I'm guessing it's just like, oh, she's so hideous and repulsive. Like her nose is so sharp and hooked.
Yeah, like in that
That-
picture that Chai posted, it's like, oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Vlad could impale someone on that thing. Like, yeah.
You ever seen a nose so sharp Vlad wants to use it as a punishment?
Vlad is just sitting there, like rubbing his palms together, like, oh yeah, I got plans.
Oh God, yeah. There's a lot of emphasis on her being repulsive. So all around a bad time. Something that possibly makes things worse is the fact that in some cases there's 3 Baba Yagas who appear as sisters, all with the same name. So there's an example of this in The Maiden Tsar, where a lad called Ivan meets one Baba Yaga, gets directed to a second, who then directs him to a third, who then tries to eat him. because of course.
Sure.
Imagine all of that journey only to be nearly eaten at the end. What a waste of a day.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't get eaten. You only tried to eat him, right?
I mean, if at first you don't succeed. I realise none of this is really narrowing things down, but in some ways that makes the idea of the Baba Yaga in Trench Crusade more interesting. Before we get on to what she could be or do, we should also touch on where she's from, which is the faraway Tsardom, or the thrice ninth Tsardom. This is a realm in East Slavic folklore kept separate from the world by dense forests, seas, or abysses. It's ruled by a princess, there are serpents, the firebird, not the Pontiac kind, the feathered kind. There's golden-maned horses, rejuvenating apples, and springs flowing with living and dead water. From what I can tell, from my brief dip into Baba Yaga-related stories and Thrice 9 Tsardom stories, if someone goes there, if a hero decides to go into this land, it tends to be for bride-related purposes. Rescuing one, finding one, that sort of thing.
Typical bride stuff, yeah.
Your traditional fairy tale chasing down a lass. With all of that being said, there's some great potential for Baba Yaga-esque shenanigans in Trench Crusade. Like, say you go the Guardian of the Afterlife route. You've got scope there for, like, resurrected soldiers fighting either for Christianity or for the forces of hell, depending on where her allegiance lies. There's also the chance of heretics getting stamped on by a house with legs. I mean, I'm all for that, to be honest, just on visuals alone. Sounds fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah.
She could also just be chaos incarnate, granting boons and favours to anyone who shows her the right amount of deference and respect, which would cause all sorts of hard-to-manage nonsense in the heavy forests of Siberia. It could also be that she's not necessarily picking or hindering either side. She is also associated with forest wildlife, so perhaps there's something there where she's more a force of the forest or the land itself than like specifically fighting on the side of the faithful or the faithless, I guess.
I like the idea of her not actually having a side, but just being like, yeah, I just defend the forest and nature. And if you come trouncing in here with your silly little holy war that I don't give a fuck about, I'm gonna trample you with chicken foot house, or just come out and
smack you about with a broom whilst riding around in the mortar. What a way to go!
On my fucking nose.
What happened to our expeditionary Siberian force? Well, I don't really know how to give this report, but a house on legs kicked half the troops to death, and then the commander was repeatedly beaten in the face with a pestle.
Like, what the hell? Although in Trench Crusade, if you reported that to a commander in Trench Crusade, they probably wouldn't even look up from what they were doing. Just, all right, yep, that makes sense. I'll note that and send that to the superiors. On with you. Yep. They probably wouldn't even flinch. They could probably be eating a full meal and just be like, yes, that sounds normal.
Deliver the news. Oh, again? What do you mean again?
Oh, man. Not even the strangest thing I've heard this hour.
Yeah. Now, I keep saying she. There's nothing to say that this isn't a Three Sisters situation, a version where Baba Yaga isn't one entity but several identical ones. Like, that might not necessarily affect what she does, but it could affect the scale of what she does, taking her from what would be like a minor player into something more significant. One final and quite fun thought is about the Hellmouth of the North, which every now and then opens up in the Kola Peninsula and spews a bunch of awful out of it. Now, the Kola Peninsula is part of the territory of the Tsardom of Novgorod, according to the map, but as much as I can make out anyway, given the lines separating it from Finlandia turn into black cracks in the foundation of the earth, I think it's in that territory. If Baba Yaga is a protective force, either of the people or of the forest, there's a non-zero chance that every now and again she ends up facing off against an invasion from hell from the north, which would be class if true.
Yeah.
I mean, they could also have just put the picture of her hut on the map for shits and giggles, but I want to believe, so we're talking about it.
All right. Hey, the best reason is because, hell, I want that to be canon, so damn it, we're going to pretend like it is. Hell yeah.
Imagine if we're right.
It makes sense she'd be up there, right?
It kind of does. Like, there's so much other stuff that is, like, folklore related that surely they wouldn't tease us like that. Just stick the house on there, legs and everything, and then just do nothing with it.
Imagine being those soldiers over there that are just on patrol. It's like, do you see that over there? That house have chicken legs? What the fuck? Although, again, in Trench Crusade, it's like, yeah, it does. Let's just keep going.
When you think about how
it's not even worse than the demon I saw yesterday.
When you think about how fast a chicken can run, like, have you seen a chicken properly legging it?
That's true. It's hard to catch a chicken.
That would be terrifying. At that scale, a house? What the hell is this? What?
Right? And then it's like, not only is that sprinting at you, but imagine that sprints at you, stops right in front of you, door swings open, and the Baba Yaga just comes out and starts beating your ass with a mortar and pestle. Nah, I'm good. I don't need that in my life. Nope. Shai said, I think the most fun version of her would be her as some sort of force of nature who is insanely dangerous to all sides of the war. Her being on the side of hell would be lame, and her being purely on faithful side would be weird. I agree. She has to be like her own sort of guardian of the forest, right? Where she is like a threat to all sides who would dare to like trample on her forest, and all sides are like, yeah, don't go in the forest and don't piss her off. Just leave her alone and leave that forest alone, because she is. You don't want to mess with the Baba Yaga. Yeah, I think that would be the most interesting way to do it too, Shay.
Yeah, 100%. I think that would work. That would work super well, and it definitely wouldn't make sense for it to be all Christian. It just doesn't fit, does it?
Yeah, no, I don't think the creature going around eating children should be on the side of the faithful Christians. Yeah, but then she also doesn't seem like... I mean, I guess she seems more like something that would spew out of hell, but she doesn't quite seem as... absolutely... this is going to be a crazy thing to say. She doesn't seem as insane as the shit that spews from hell. Like, she's crazy, and her shit is crazy, but not like some of those demons.
It doesn't feel like I want to cause suffering for a greater purpose. It feels more like I do what I want, which is not the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Now, we've already mentioned vampires. We've talked about Baba Yaga, but it would be daft not to talk about werewolves as well. Sort of, a bit.
Let's go, Team Jacob!
Absolutely not.
Sorry. I couldn't help it. Your response was just beautiful, by the way. Just absolutely not.
When Shai put DK in chat, I was half expecting the next words to just be "you're fired." I was just like,
He what?
"We're not having
Shai?
it." No,
I only saw like the first movie. What he what?
oh no.
Anyway, go ahead.
That's a different episode. The Twilight breakdown.
Sheesh.
So, before we get onto Trench Crusade's flirting with werewolves, we should nail down what they are and where they come from in the real world, as is tradition at this point. So, werewolves are a very widespread concept, particularly in European folklore, but the earliest mentions of them come from a long time ago. Again, a surprisingly long time ago. So, a man-to-wolf transformation occurred in the Epic of Gilgamesh, in 2100 BCE. So, as an idea, it's been around for a while. And
yeah, I was going to say Epic of Gilgamesh, quite old.
pretty.
I didn't. Well, I guess there would be werewolf transformations in the Epic of Gilgamesh, wouldn't there? That makes sense to me.
I just get blown away by how long some of these ideas have been around.
Yeah,
like, I didn't think they were new. Don't get me wrong, but thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago is a lot to get your head around.
Yeah.
And in early Greek mythology, you see people putting on wolf skins and transforming into them by about 400 BCE. But there is a localized Greek myth in Arcadia. Zeus was worshipped as Lycian Zeus, and I said Zeus the first time, Zeus, and may have done ritual sacrifices to Zeus involving the blood and flesh of humans. And Plato recounted that story in 380 BCE. From the story, Socrates remarks, the story goes that he who tastes the one bit of human entrails minced up with those of other victims is inevitably transformed into a wolf.
Ah. Delightful.
There's so many mentions as well. Like the ability of a person to shift into the form of a wolf-human hybrid is also mentioned in a book called the Satyricon, which is believed to have been written by Gaius Petronius, who lived from 27 AD to 66 AD, and yeah, we've got the tale of King Lycian of Arcadia, who's transformed into a wolf because of a bit of child sacrifice. So it's been around.
Oh, just a little bit of child sacrifice. No big deal.
Just a bit, just a little bit. He got punished for it. He got turned into a wolf.
Yeah. Hence why it's called lycanthropy. Yeah,
there's a couple of lichen roots going on with that, which is again very fun. So yeah, the concept of a bloke or lass becoming a nightmarish human wolf combo has been around for a very long time. But the way in which they do so, and even the reasons for doing so, vary massively. Like, the folk beliefs around werewolves are disparate, and they range from man turns into wolf, man turns into wolf-human hybrid, man's soul leaves the body and goes hunting, or just becomes a familiar or a spirit that acts as a messenger. There's a massive array of what, that specifically can refer to. To become whatever version of this takes your fancy, you can form a satanic allegiance, or put on a belt of wolf skin and rub your body with a magic salve, or you could drink a special beer and repeat a formula. The options are endless.
That's got to be Teen Wolf, right? A special beer, right? How? I've never actually seen it. I've never actually seen Teen Wolf.
I don't think I have either. It feels like that shouldn't be allowed, but you become a werehog.
Hell yeah. Look at that beast. Way to go, Sonic. Never played that one either.
Isn't that Sonic Twilight? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Probably. That seems right, because full moon, right? Twilight.
Sonic Unleashed. Wait, the Unleashed version of Sonic is he becomes a werewolf?
A werehog.
A werehog? Sorry.
Jesus, Kirioth. Jesus, don't even know the lore.
But that doesn't make any sense, because he's already a hog. He's already a hedgehog. If he became a werehog, it means he'd become... Yeah, but a human being a werewolf means they turn into a wolf. The were bit is the original species, so he would still become...
A werehog, exactly.
No, but he turns into something else. He doesn't turn into a hog.
Yeah, he turns into a werehog. A werehog, Kirioth. Follow the logic, man.
I am. The second bit is what you turn into. That's what the second bit is. The were bit is what you started out as, and the second bit is what you become. So he would just become...
so he's a werehog.
No.
If you let me, I will do this all day, dude. We gotta move on. If you let me, I'll do this all day. For your own sanity, please move on.
That is some hardcore gaslighting. I can't.
It really is. Oh, poor Kiri.
Oh no! Oh.
My children are better behaved than you.
Oh my god! I'm still. I can't breathe properly now. Hang on.
Get it out of your system. It's all right.
Sonic the Werehog. It just doesn't roll off the tongue. Okay. We do have other ways to become a I nearly said a werehog, for fuck's sake. We do have other ways to become a werewolf. In Italy, Germany, and France, the belief was that a man or woman could turn into a werewolf by sleeping outside on a summer night on a certain Wednesday or Friday, so that the full moon would shine on his or her face, which sounds very familiar. The full moon bit, not only on a summer night on a Wednesday. That is,
That's so weird that you could turn into a werewolf just because you chose to sleep outside in the full moon on a very specific day.
Yeah.
And, you're a wolf now. What? It was just too hot inside. What the? This is weird.
I do think with the Wednesday or Friday thing, is it, that's got to be a phases of the moon thing where, it's got to be a full moon. So therefore, but surely if a moon is full on a Wednesday, it would also be full on a Thursday. Or does it have to be prime full moon?
I think we're looking into this too much.
We probably are. You probably are. So your classic traditional werewolf, your lycanthrope, really seems to have taken root in the imagination in Europe in the Middle Ages, so much so that they were mentioned in the medieval law codes of rulers like Knut the Great, something that was done to make sure that the madly audacious werewolf does not too widely devastate nor bite too many of the spiritual flock. Interestingly, a good chunk of the werewolf craze was caused by the clergy, as Western Christianity was heavily influenced by one Augustine of Hippo, who was a philosopher and theologian who wrote in one of his texts, "It is generally believed that, by certain witches' spells, men may be turned into wolves." As a result of this influential figure mentioning werewolves, Christian clergy would occasionally write about them in their own works, with one in particular feeling very relevant to Trench Crusade, the Topographia Hibernica. I've done so bad for pronunciations on this episode. Even by my own standards, it's been rough.
They haven't exactly been easy words to say either. So I think most people would give you a free pass.
Look, I can barely speak English. Trying to get me to do anything else is, frankly,
As an American, I can relate.
In this account, which was written by Gerald of Wales, there is mention of the werewolves of Ossory, Ossory being a kingdom of early medieval Ireland, with the werewolves being the descendants of, and I'm going to, you know what, I want to see how you would pronounce this, just before I go for it.
Lynek Phalad.
You're not far off, to be fair. You're not far off. It's Lainioch Phalad.
Oh, damn it.
So you weren't too... Yeah, you were pretty close. Which is like a legendary Irish figure. And Ireland used to be home to wolves, and they had a notable place in Irish culture, with literature associating warriors and wolves together. Now, the reason I bring this specific work up is because in the world of Trench Crusade, Ida, or Ireland in the real world, was invaded in 1807, and something that played a big part in those extremely troubled times was the full moon and the creatures that were created by it. So there was a heretic sea lord called Zachar who would one day show up to claim Ida as his own, but he had plans to mess the island up long before he got there. He formed a pact with the cult of the moon, and thanks to this pact, something called the Path of the Beast started to affect the Emerald Isle. Young Irish men and women would vanish into the woods during the full moon, reappearing covered in beast runes carved into their skin, screaming and yelling. Some of these... We're back, baby. We're back into proper Trench Crusade. Awful things happening to people who don't deserve it. Let's go.
Yeah, that's... Oh, boy.
Don't worry, it gets worse. So some of these unfortunate souls would give birth to monsters, with others running away to join the covens in the wild. A lot of people gave themselves over to the hymn of the beast and escaped into those same wilds, fleeing from humanity and the great war against hell. Villages were raided by supplicants of the beast, crops were burned, and Ida became isolated from the rest of the faithful as their merchant vessels were attacked.
Shy, what in the fuck is that?
Path of the Beast, baby.
Is that actually what they look like? Holy shit, what the...
Oh yeah, it's messed up.
Wow.
It's messed up.
I was just expecting, typical werewolf. I was not expecting all that. Holy, it's so metal. Oh my God.
There's so much going on there. There's so much going on, but it's rad. Oh, it's so grim.
Oh, I remember those guys though. I remember them.
Yep.
Oh, it never gets any easier looking at that picture and that one dude's face.
How many of his face?
Well, I just mean that one obviously human face that's like very much suffering and not having a good time, and the wolf mouth is coming out of his mouth.
Yep. It's pretty awful.
It never gets any easier looking at that picture. Oh, bro.
So, at this point, the Path of the Beast has done a number on Ida, and at this point, Zachar attacked, opened a dormant hellgate, and destroyed the army defending the Emerald Isle, and the slow conquering of the people and lands began. Just as a side note, this sorry state of affairs continued until Queen Brigid ascended the throne in 1870, and under her leadership, it was reclaimed through a horrific, costly counter-offensive. That's not really relevant to the werewolf stuff. I just think it's neat that they called the character Brigid, as Brigid is a goddess of Ireland, pre-Christian interference, of course. So she's associated with protection and healing, among other things. So having a Queen Brigid rise up and defend her people and cleanse Ireland of hell's influence is just pretty cool. I just like it.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, their range.
Every time I see a hero like that, I can't. There was this old Disney movie about this basketball player kid, and it's called The Luck of the Irish, and he has to he plays like a basketball game, and he has to he gets like a wish to send the evil person back to where they came from, and he's like, oh yeah, you just have to speak where they're from, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm from Lake Erie, and the guy's like, oh boy, that's not where you're from, learn how to say your heritage, it's Lake Erie. And the kid's like, I'm from Cleveland, and the poor leprechaun gets banished to fucking Cleveland in Lake Erie. I've been thinking about that this whole damn episode, man.
So ridiculous. Oh god. Oh, that made me cough again.
God. Banished to Cleveland.
Oh dear. Now we're gonna actually get onto the Path of the Beast here. We've seen some terrible artwork, and you can see that these, to a certain extent, are your werewolf counterparts in this universe. Generally speaking, the artwork for this faction shows various stages of human turning into a horrible nightmare wolf that's missing some or all of its skin. We've got long-jawed, skinless wolf heads. We've got short-jawed, rotten-skinned wolf heads. Sometimes we've even got multiple long and short-jawed wolf heads coming out of one very ruined neck. We're covering all the bases. Oh, God,
we
the
sure
Zygotic
are.
Lord.
Oh, what is that?
That's the Zygotic Lord.
That's right. We've seen this a couple times. This is another one that, like, it never gets easy looking at this.
No, it's absolutely horrific.
Oh yeah, it's awful. That's vile.
It has a biological crescent moon anchored to its umbilical cord. Like,
yeah, and that crescent moon is just like covered in eyeballs and shit, and it's just like
horrible. Brilliant,
yeah,
but
I sure
horrible.
do hate it.
So, as we heard from the invasion of Isla, that same link to the moon is present, as is the shift from human to animal. Hell, even the name Path of the Beast is pretty clear-cut. But what I really love about these sort of werewolves in Trench Crusade is that the Path of the Beast is old and provides essentially a single source for all the folklore that revolves around half-beast, half-human creatures. In the official lore document, they state that the beast has always been there. Kingdoms rise and topple, but the beast remains. It was there before man came to wild places, and it will be there when they are gone. It presents the beast as an inspiration for the Fomorians of Isla, in the real world a race of monstrous beings in Irish mythology, with some descriptions mentioning them having the head of a goat. Likewise, the werewolves of Livonia, which seems to be a fun nod to Theus of Caltonbrunn, who was tried for heresy and who claimed to be a werewolf in real life. And there's also mention of the Rakshasa of India, a shape-shifting race of malevolent beings. Man found the beast and followed it. And funnily enough, Shai, I was just about to ask DK to read that. So there you go.
Let's go. The path of the beast is the ruin of humanity. We shed the veneer of civilization like winter antlers. We will slake our thirst and bury our teeth in the entrails of the weak. There is no enlightenment, only strength. There is no hope, only hunger. Psalm 17 of the Revelations of the Beast.
Hell yeah.
Yeesh. It's like the werewolf anthem.
Oh, God. The larval
beast lord, seen here still in its infancy. Only one has ever been glimpsed when fully grown, and the recon element that sighted it did not survive.
Yeah, you're shocked, I can tell.
That's crazy. That's the larval beast lord in its infancy.
It's just ridiculous.
It's what very does the cool, full-grown version end up being like? And again, you see something like this, and it's like, oh yeah, vampires, whatever.
Yeah, this is when you said like there's more insane things. This is what I was thinking about, like the Path of the Beast. Yeah. I actually think the Path of the Beast, and the Temple of Metamorphosis, they are honestly, they are more interesting and cool than the faithful and heretic forces. Because they are like full like just insane ancient horror, and yeah. So to be fair, like this is where the similarities to werewolves end in some ways. The inspiration is definitely there. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think the Trench Crusade has gone in a little different direction than the classic imagery of the werewolf. Just a smidge in their own direction, right?
For sure. Like, we still have, like, the full moon calls to people, stuff happens, they come back monstrous, or in this universe, give birth to monstrosities. Specifically, the lore refers to the supplicants of the beast as being devolved, and of course the art is full of wolf-like creatures, but the background for the beast itself is very different, and also it was too cool not to mention.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, the extent to which the beast has always been there is crazy. We know that the beast has always been there. It says so in the lore documents, but as the world became enamored with Christianity, the beast lay hidden in the wilds of the world. The path endured in the memory of those ancient ways, And because our favourite book, Revelations, talks about the return of the beast, most interestingly, though, there's mention of the memory of the beast being kept alive by eroded idols brought from beyond the stars that dimmed eons ago.
Oh, great. You just love to hear that.
That is some cosmic horror shit, and I am here for it.
Yep, that is an eldritch entity from beyond the stars.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Worshippers of the beast, when deemed ready, are infected by blessed parasites that fall off the beast lords. Fuck that. The parasites are full to the brim with the Lord's transformative blood, and these supplicants then begin their change into misshapen horrors and are granted the voice of the beast, which they howl into the sky in adoration. Yucky.
And that's from something from beyond the stars that dimmed eons ago.
Yep, that's some eldritch bullshit right there for sure.
Oh, it's so good. Like we're going to go into the Path of the Beast in greater detail in a later episode, but the links and comparisons to what we generally accept as werewolves are there, and they're very fun. Like you can see the inspiration, you can see the similarity in imagery, but the choice to have the beast be some sort of ancient eternal force that is pervasive enough that it's the inspiration for werewolves and Fomorians and Rakshasa is pretty cool, and it adds that extra level of horror. It's not just heaven and hell. It's not just the faithful versus heretics and half-demons. There are things unfathomably old lurking in the world of Trench Crusade, and they have their own designs on humanity. And in this specific instance, those designs happen to, heavily involve humanity growing a wolf's skull out of their mouth. Lovely stuff.
Yay. Filthy Xenos!
There we go. That is the first round of various folklore in Trench Crusade, and there's more, but we've already been going for nearly 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. Yep. What a ride. What a ride. Going from, in the episode, it was like, it started off, it's like, oh man, impaling so bad. And then it's like, it gets so much worse. It's just, impaling not even that bad anymore. It's just like, by comparison to these things,
Shy disagrees, impaling is good. I mean, in Trench Crusade, it was 1 million heretics. So,
I mean, depending on who's getting impaled.
Yeah, actually, can we have Vlad impale these beast idiots? Let's do that.
He can try. I don't know how successful he's going to be, but
I feel like you need a fucking big stake for that for that aspect of the wolf.
I was going to say, this is akin to trying to impale Cthulhu. It's like, you could try. I don't think you're going to succeed. You give it a shot.
Give me a big enough stick and I can impale anything. Vlad the Third, 1870 or whatever it was.
Baba Yaga, you're with me. Anyway, how are we going to close out, Kirioth?
Remember, there is a Patreon that you can sign up to where you get episodes early and you'll get other stuff as well. There's also the amazing first run of merch, the Founders Merch Pack, which you should definitely check out. We'll be back for more probably absolutely horrendous stuff soon. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you for the next one.